We're looking at the intro tune now for Wonderful Tonight, and believe it or not, there's different versions. I've heard Clapton do the studio version, I've heard him play it live, well, not live, but I've heard live recordings of him play it, and he doesn't always do it the same way twice. So basically, that's the freedom for expression. But we're going to teach you the safe way to do it first. You've got your intro tune PDF with the tabs on it, I'm sure, and we're going to start with finger 1, fret 7, string 3. Should sound like that. And after that, you go to fret number 10. Now make sure you use the same fingers. My fingers are all numbered to make it nice and easy. And I'm jumping to fret 10 with the ring finger. After that fret 10, there's a 12 in brackets. Now we're not going to play a 12, but I want you to memorize this pitch. You got that note in your head? And we're going to go back to 10 and we're going to bend the string to find it. Same note. So you're bending the 10 to sound as if it's 12. So instead of going, you're doing this instead. Sounds much cooler. And then you bring it back down to the normal pitch of the 10. So it's... And that is actually called a release, which is a funny term because you think release means let go. It doesn't mean let go. They should rather call it a return because you're returning the pitch back to its initial note. So you're starting there, banging the 10, bending it, pulling it back to a 10. So you're returning a 10 to its original note. And like we said, they call that a release. One more time with me. Let's try it. 2, 3, 4. And after that, 8 and 10. And that's your first bar. Now the trick with this over here is the band actually starts before you. So the band goes 1 and 2 and... And you can actually hear that. If I play the backtrack there, you'll hear that the bass and the drums and everything starts before me. Check this out. There's your count. 1 and 2. And you can hear that I actually started playing after the band came in. And your count for that is 1 and 2 and. So the and after the second beat is actually when you start playing. 1 and 2 and. That's your first phrase. Second phrase. If you look at it visually before we play it, you'll notice it looks pretty much the same. The only difference over here is the last note is a 9. That's number 9. Notice I'm using the middle finger. Very important. Trying to get the fingers as efficient as possible, so we're allocating as best as possible a dedicated fret for each finger. So the second phrase, notice the same style bend, the same return, the same release in other words, but we end on the 9 instead of the 10 we used in the first bar. Let's try the first and second bars together. Remember we're counting 1 and 2 and we come in. Are you ready? 1 and 2 and. Now depending on what version you've heard of Clapton, you could do something like this, for example. And I put a bit of a rake there, and what I've done is I've played the last bar, which has got 4 extra notes. Starts off with the same. If you look at it visually, the first and third bars visually look the same, but for the last 4 notes. And one more time, just the last bar, and you can hear the little pause of the 10 before it does 7, 8, 12. And instead of just going 12, 10, I like going, but I'll show you that technique now. Okay, let's first get the notes ready for the third bar. 1 and 2 and we got it. Let's try and play it together now the whole way through without anything fancy, no rakes, no double stops, nothing crazy, just the simple basic tune. 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and pause, there's it. And that sounds quite cool. Now check this over here. I'm going to add a little bit extra in. Double bend. Nice little double stop there. Okay, And what's happening there? Watch the bend. Check the pinky come in. And then watch my finger with this hand here. See the finger playing that first string? And you'll notice I'm only bending with the third finger. So one more time, super slow motion for this double stop. That's the name they give to it. And a little pull off there. Pull off. And it sounds quite cool. And you got a different phrase. The third bar, you can start the same if you wanted to do a double bend there. And then at the end of it, there's a little rake I spoke about. And on the rake, how to do it, I'm putting my palm flat across the string so it's dead. And that's the effect of the rake. It's more sort of percussive, so you're actually hearing the effect of the pick just being dragged across the string. And as I get to the last note, I'll lift my wrist up. So you can see from the back there, if you can look carefully, difficulty pointing in there, but if you look at my fingers trying to point the back part, you can see my back part of my palm sort of touching the strings, or away from the string, touching the string, off the string, on the string. You see that movement? And then it's on the string there. And as I get to the note I want, I lift it up. And that sounds pretty cool. So it's just different techniques that I can employ into the phrase. So if I wanted to get a bit more sort of fancy now, I could do something like this. Same riff, few embellishments, few little twists, and it could sound like this. Double stop early. And we played with the timing there, so be creative with the song, make it your own, stretch the notes, double stop them, double bend them. So instead of going, try a, play with it, experiment, make the song uniquely yours. And the techniques, string bending, the rakes, all as you want, when you want, if you want. You can even go, take it completely out of context, but that would be quite cool for a solo point of view. Okay, I hope you got the intro under control. Any questions, let me know. Have some good fun with it. It's a lovely song, and have a good week. Thank you.